They have lied to you about your chakras this entire time. And it's blocking you from getting what you deserve, from manifesting what you desire. And this is why. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on in somebody's energy body when they are struggling financially, when they're struggling with their health, their relationships, when they're feeling disconnected with purpose. And I'm going to show you this through two different systems. One is the yogic system in ancient India, where we all know about the chakras, the wheels, the discs. We're going to talk about the chakra system, and we're going to talk about the Chinese system, traditional Chinese medicine, and the three Dan Tians. And we're going to compare them. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly why you cannot manifest. And stay to the very end, because I'm going to give you a very simple energy enhancing technique to start to shift your energy so that you can bring your desires into your life rather than just hoping and wishing that they come true. So let's go ahead and get started. What you see behind me is you. That's right. That's you. And that's me. And that's all of us. And this is our peanut person. Kind of looks like a peanut. And we're going to be coming back to this drawing. And when we come back to this drawing, you're going to see how this energy is manifesting in your life. So we talked about the chakra system briefly. The 7 chakras. They say there's many more, but for simplicity's sake, there's 7. With the Chinese system, there's 3, okay? And they're not chakras, they're called Dan Tians. So let's see what's happening in somebody who is struggling financially, who is struggling with their relationships, with their feeling disconnected from their spirit, feeling more fear, anxiety, uncertainty, and doubt. Let's see what's happening with this person, and we're gonna show you how to reverse that. So stay to the end. So basically what happens is that you have 2 different currents of energy. One current of energy is going from the bottom of your body up to the sky, up to the heavens. And another current of energy is coming from the heavens, and it's going down through all of your chakras, all your energy body, and it's going down into your feet and down into the earth. So the chakra that's going up towards the heavens is called the liberating current. Remember this, liberating current is going from your feet into the cosmos. The downward current is going from the cosmos to your feet, and this is the manifesting current. If there's one thing that you learn from this channel, remember this, and it will be a guide for you for your entire life. Every time you experience uncertainty and doubt, you can come back to this, and things are going to start to make sense as to why you're experiencing your reality. So what we're going to do is we're going to briefly talk about the chakra system and the Dan Tian system. So I drew the Dan Tian system here, which is the Chinese medicine version of the lower Dan Tian, the middle Dan Tian, and the upper Dan Tian. Okay? So basically, as we live in this hectic world, this modern day-to-day struggle, everybody's trying to do more. Everybody's trying to have more, but they're not focusing on being more. And because they want the doing and the having, they're forgetting the most important part, which is being. And your being receives the fuel from the lower dantian. So if your lower dantian is depleted of energy, your entire being, it's like a gas tank running on empty. And there's no surplus of energy in times of stress. So what happens is when you get stressed out and you have a weak lower dantian, the energy starts to rise because you're trying to liberate yourself from the pain. And when this happens, this is what is called spiritual bypassing. So, what is spiritual bypassing? Spiritual bypassing is something that sneaks up on you when you least expect it on your spiritual journey. And what's happening is you're experiencing so much pain that rather than sitting with the pain and being present with the pain, you unconsciously run. And I know this because this is what happened to me. When I was going through my journey, I thought that by learning more about spirituality, reading more books, trying more techniques, meditating more, I thought that that was helping me grow. But it took me some time to realize that doing that was a defense mechanism. It was a way to help me feel safe at a time which was very uncertain for me. And so if you're experiencing something like that, then what's happening is your mind is trying to stay occupied by spiritual bypassing so you don't have to feel the pain. Now, when this happens, it is very difficult for somebody to recognize that it's happening unless they're receiving some guidance. And this is where this channel comes in. Whenever you're in a state of spiritual bypassing, you're not seeing clearly and you're causing your mind to speed up. The goal in the spiritual journey is to slow the mind down, to bring the energy down from the upper and middle dantian down to the lower dantian so you can fill its reserve. In Chinese medicine, this is called Jing or essence. Okay? I have a challenge for those of you who are listening to this. Do something that scares you. If you fear rejection, put yourself out there and face rejection. And as it's happening, bring your attention to your feet and to your legs and to your thighs and to your pelvis. And what you'll notice is that the energy from the lower part of your body has basically been cut off. And the energy, because you're feeling so much fear, you're trying to spiritually bypass, but it's happening unconsciously. So when that happens, what's going on with your energy body is that you're trying to liberate yourself through the liberating current, and all of your energy is rising and it's going up to your third eye, into your crown, and it's spewing out into the cosmos. And when that happens, your legs become very shaky. You become wobbly. You become very uneasy. You notice you're kind of fidgeting and you can't sit still. This is what's going on energetically. And so things like this can feel very complicated, especially while it's happening. But whenever you come back to this blueprint, you can remember exactly what's happening and you can observe it and you can make the conscious choice. So you have the lower dantian, the Jing, and the essence, which is anchoring you to this earth. When you do this, okay, we're going to create another video about how to fill your reserve. Okay, this is the fountain of youth. This is what's going to keep you feeling young. It's going to keep you feeling strong and resilient when things get difficult, because you're going to have a reserve to draw from. And it's a series of grounding techniques. One of them is the horse stance. Okay, the horse stance is an isometric exercise involving the lower body, in which you're building up the reserves of Jing, of essence. It's a martial arts posture, and we're going to talk about this in another video. So by the way, if you're liking this channel, I really appreciate it if you would like it, subscribe, tell your friends about it, have people join the community. Let's start supporting each other so we can make progress on this journey. And keep a lookout for that video on how to fill up the essence of your lower Dan Tian. So we're going to move up to the middle Dan Tian. Okay, this is the heart space. And what's going on in the heart space is that you notice something that you don't like. And when we don't like it, we experience a negative emotion and the heart closes. Okay? The heart is opening and closing and opening and closing constantly. It's going to do that whether or not you want to do it or not. It's going to happen. And when it happens, you have a choice to accept it or to resist it. But remember that the opening and closing is always happening. Okay? So without Jing, you cannot fill the heart with enough energy to make you feel safe. If you don't feel safe in your heart, then you're going to keep it closed. And what's going to happen is that as you close your heart, you're going to notice that you also encounter other people in your life who have closed their heart, because like attracts like. And you're going to feel one day, oh, I feel like opening my heart, but the person you're around is closed. So when this happens, we have peace and stability in the lower Dan Tian. We have emotion and volatility in the middle Dan Tian. Okay, it's fluctuating constantly, up and down, up and down. And unless we have a strong Jing, we will not be able to handle this. And once the lower Dan Tian is anchored you to the ground, you move up to the upper Dan Tian through the heart. And the upper Dan Tian is where you connect spiritually. This is where you connect to the cosmos, okay? And this is where you find a more meaning for life. Now, one danger that I would like to warn you about is people always talk about the third eye. The third eye, oh, open your third eye and, you'll manifest everything you want. As a doctor and as a spiritual seeker, I want to genuinely extend my concern for listening to that kind of advice. Because if you have no Jing and no essence, and you're trying to open your third eye, what's going to happen is you're going to become psychologically and mentally, emotionally unstable because you have nothing to root into. So if somebody's telling you, do this to open your third eye, my sincere recommendation is to not do that yet. Okay? Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to liberate yourself without any Jing. And when that happens, you become wobbly on your feet And I'm going to tell you a quick story about a client that I had. This client had loads of trauma. She was from Haiti, and when she was a child, she was molested by her stepbrother. And when she was an adult, she noticed she was having this kind of awakening process, and she came to me and she started to tell me what was going on. And she told me that, this woman was very successful. She was a coach herself, and she was on her way to a conference. And she was doing these imagination practices where she was, opening her third eye and visualizing this and visualizing that. And what happened was she went to the airport to get on a plane, and in the middle of the airport, she had a full-blown psychological breakdown. And she went to the hospital where she was admitted and given, tranquilizing drugs, mood stabilizers, to settle her down so she could safely be discharged the next day. So be very careful how you approach this spiritual journey. It's not, when people say things like, oh, meditate and, your anxiety will go away, and, open your third eye and, you'll manifest your desires. It's snake oil. They're trying to sell you something, because when you actually look at what's happening and you talk to people about who have done it and you hear their experiences, you will see that, there's a specific way to do this. And what we're going to do is we're going to forget about this side for now. We're going to forget about liberating yourself. And we're going to focus on bringing things from the spiritual dimension into the physical body and into the lower dantian. And we're going to anchor ourselves so that when eventually it comes to opening the third eye or the upper dantian, we'll have a steady structure. We'll have a solid foundation to build the house. So that is a blueprint for you to use throughout your entire spiritual journey, no matter what is happening. Thanks for listening. If you like this video, subscribe, comment below. If you've tried to open your third eye, what happened? If you tried to, do some lower dantian practices, if you've done the horse stance, what experiences you had, give us some information so we can share it with other people and help each other progress on the spiritual path. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.